Welcome in, everybody. It's time for week number 2 of Cardinal Insider, sitting down with Annandale head coach Matt Walter. Coach, you didn't only get a first down, but you scored a couple of touchdowns on Friday night. A nice home opener win over the Little Falls Flyers, 54-6. You really kind of jumped all over them right from the beginning. Before we jump into that, talk about that crowd on Friday night. I was impressed on a Labor Day Friday. I mean, it was Parents' Night, so a lot of parents coming out, but student section was packed out there. The crowd was packed. It was a perfect home opener for the district.
Yeah, you worry about with the Labor Day weekend if people are going to show up, because sometimes they don't. But we were really, really grateful for our crowd, our community, our school coming out. The kids love it. I mean, the atmosphere we have. I mean, we have all the people in the crowd. We have 95 cheerleaders. We got a lot of players. It's just our field is beautiful. The backdrop of our field is beautiful. It's pretty impressive. I mean, there are times like the national anthem, I stand back and look. It's a pretty cool thing, and the crowd's a big part of it. I don't think people realize how much the kids notice that, and they notice the support. They love when the student section's full. They love when their parents are there. They love when the community members are there. They love when it's loud. I mean, it's just it brings it all together, and they definitely notice when they're being back. So it was a lot of fun. Many of the kids commented after the game, just how fun the atmosphere was. So it was pretty cool.
The game was pretty fun too. We ended up in a pretty lopsided, a 54-6 victory over Little Falls. Talk a little bit about the game. Was it what you expected? How did we end up at a 54-6 win?
Well, we scored eight touchdowns,
Something
and they
like
scored
that.
one. I mean, that's Jeremy. It's pretty simple. I mean, isn't it pretty simple?
Yeah.
We can't. I didn't expect the score to be like that. I mean, I figured we were the better team going in, but you still got to play the game. I thought that we came out just flying. We came out with a lot of excitement, a lot of energy. The opening kickoff, Ryland Horse, sophomore, who was nervous and scared, comes down and gets a great hit on their return guy, which got everybody excited. Keegan Grube, the next play, a 4-yard loss on the running back. Ben Sex, their quarterback. Walter on the second play. Ben and Keegan on a blitz. Cut their quarterback in half on the third play. And then they punt, and, we return for a touchdown. And to be honest with you, a lot of people like to go for blocks in that situation. But to me, the return is the best, because they're back at their goal line punting. You have to do a tight punt, and your guys can't leave. Usually once the ball's snapped, you leave on punt. When you're down at the goal line, you can't, because of the risk of the block. So they have to hold. So they don't get down the field. Returner always has a good chance to catch the ball. And when they catch it, there's space. So when Gabe caught it, there was space. He got to go across the field. And our return team was phenomenal. Ben Rubrick, Tavin Long did a phenomenal job on their gunners. Isaiah had a great block. Rowan Bishop had a great block. Our wall, a great job. So everybody did their job. Gabe went untouched and walked in. And then, we got the 3 and out, and, we had good field position, and, we saw the coverage we were getting, and we hit Gabe on a bomb, and it just kind of started steamrolling. And I thought our kids did a really good job of being locked in and making plays. And, they didn't change their coverage. We thought we had a really good advantage with the coverage they had. So we just kept attacking it. And I think our quarterbacks, Mike was 7 for 8, I think. Braylon was 5 for 5.
Yep.
So, I mean, we threw the ball well. We caught it well. Our line, flawless protection. Our defense kept getting the ball back. And Noel had a sweet interception in the first quarter still? Yeah, that was the first quarter. Yep. So, yeah, we did a lot. They had 1 first down in the first half. So, just really impressive offense, defense, special teams. Cam Helgett was one of the most impressive. He just, one of our kickers got hurt, and Cam started kicking on Wednesday, and he went 6 for 6. So that was impressive.
I wasn't sure what the kicking situation was. So when Cam
neither
went
were
out
we.
there,
We had no idea either.
I didn't know that he just started kicking on Wednesday. But no, he was one of the. We're talking about spotlight players, and I almost tongue in cheek say, "Hey, your rookie kicker out there went 6 for 6." There was maybe that first one was a little.
First 2 were bad. They went in, but they were like, I don't know what that is. But the last 4 were great. Yeah, Grayson Wang, he has an injury that came up, and he couldn't kick. And, we had another kid kicking. But on Wednesday night, we did our rock and roll passing, which you gratefully helped us with. And we had some other guys kicking, and Cam went and tried. It was like, hey, that looks pretty good. He kicked on Thursday at practice. It looks pretty good. I expected him maybe to make half of his Friday night, and he was fantastic. I'm thinking about just pulling him now why ruin the streak?
Why? Absolutely.
It can only go downhill from here.
He can retire at 100%.
100%. Yeah. So, I mean, Zach who? I mean, after that,
Just, the
day one.
Zach
Yeah.
Matic is gone.
Yeah. But no, Cam did a really good job. So, I mean, hopefully, get a chance to work on a little bit better and be a little more consistent. But yeah, so we played pretty well on all phases.
It wasn't just we and we'll talk more about Gabe. He is one of our spotlight players of the game, but it wasn't just one player. You talked about Mike Koval. We talked last week that it was Mike Koval was starting, but it while the starters were out there, it was literally every other. Mike Koval played one series. The next series, it was Braylon Phobie who stepped in for you last year as a sophomore. Koval went 7-8 for 121 and 3 touchdowns. Braylon went 5 of 5 for 83 yards and 2 touchdowns. So not gaudy numbers in the yards, but again, we at least in the one we were working with a short field when the Flyers snapped it over the punter's head, and we had the ball down deep in their end zone to start with. And again, a lot of those starters didn't have the opportunity to play. You played 4 quarterbacks on Friday night. I made the comment during the live stream when Ryan Steinhoff got in there. I believe he wears number 29. I'm like, if you're a quarterback wearing number 29, you're probably not going to see a whole lot of action at quarterback. So the fact that he got out there, he went 2 for 3 for 30 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah, but that's not the case. What it is, we're all skill position numbers. The older kids take all the lower numbers. They love the 2s, 3s, 4s, and all that. So the sophomores kind of get the bottom pick, and 29 was right there, and he took 29. We told him for JV he can pick more of a quarterback number, but we just run. It's a lot of our older kids, juniors and seniors, take all those numbers 1 to 19. Those are the favorite. I mean, that's what college football is about now. NFL's gone to that.
Yeah, even the NFL.
Yeah, but we were able to get a lot of kids in. Like our D line played one series. Our starting D line played the first series. It was like, okay, I mean, they were pretty dominating. Let's see what else we have. So we were able to get a lot of kids in early on and let them play and see what they could do. And if you look at our stats, I think how many kids caught a ball for us? Touched about 15 kids, maybe
something like that. Yeah.
And I think another 8 or 9 ran the football for us. So we got a lot of touches. Isaiah Turner had 3 catches. He led our team in receiving with 3 catches. Nobody else had more than 2 catches. So we were able to spread the ball a little bit. It was just big plays. We had short fields because, like I said, we gave up 1 first down. So, like the long pass that Gabe, you think it's a long pass, a 25-yard touchdown pass. So yeah, I mean, it was great. It was fun to see the kids in action, learn a lot about our kids, put a lot of stuff on film that we can work on for the coming weeks here. So, for a home opener, obviously, you want games more competitive. Obviously, it just makes for more excitement and fun. And, your kids get better. You don't get better, really, in a game like this because you can be sloppy, even though we weren't sloppy. But they said it was great. It was great to get the kids in. It was great, the excitement, the energy, just getting the football season started. But, like we told our kids, you flush that one, it's time to move on to Glencoe. We take what we learned. We watched film on it on Monday at practice and started correcting some of the mistakes today.
I want to go back to, you talk about that we weren't sloppy, and we talked about it last week, that you expect some of that sloppy, you expect some of the turnovers, you expect some of the there was one drive, I think we had 2 touchdowns that were called back. We did end up scoring on that one, and then with the third string out there, a pitch that Grady Miller threw out for the back that and it looked like it was really damp out there, but the ball slipped away.
Yeah, it was. We just had bad spacing. Yeah,
but really, I mean, there wasn't much. There wasn't a lot of penalties. There wasn't that game 1 sloppiness that you tend to expect.
Yeah, we had the one drive. We had a push off when we scored, and then we had on Cam's beautiful run. Beautiful run. I love how Cam slowed down at the end to put a little whipping on the D back in the end, but. We had a sophomore who ran about 30 yards in that play to try to make a block, and he was so determined to make a block that when he got there, the guy was already turned, and he gave him a push in the back. It's like, you can't do that. That cannot happen. It was such a big play, such a great play by Cam on the run that got called back. But that's a learning thing, and he understands that. But we were able to get a touchdown out of it at the end. But those are things in a tight game that kill you. You get a touchdown call back on a push off, you get a touchdown call back on a block on the back. I mean, those things can happen. They cost you touchdowns. You're probably not going to score. We were able to do on Friday, but usually you're not going to be able to do that. But besides that, I thought we were really good. I thought we played a clean game, and I just mentally played a clean game. We lined up correctly. We executed our blocks. Our low line was phenomenal. Our quarterbacks didn't get touched. Played really well. So I thought we tackled well the whole game. So, yeah, it was good. The one thing we didn't get was a fumble. We didn't rip a ball out, which is something that we work on and try to get out. We didn't get that, so something to work on for this week.
So there was one that was close when we got in, hit the quarterback, and the ball was loose, but the quarterback fell on the ball when he came down with the sack.
Yeah, so. Owen made an impressive move on the tackle and hit the quarterback. Ball came out, but like you said, he landed on top of the ball, and that was his last play of the game.
yes, it was. So let's talk about our spotlight players. We're talking defense, so let's talk about not our defensive player of the game, because he really plays on both sides of the ball. But let's talk about senior Ben Walter. We talked about he plays out there on the defensive line. He's also your starting center. His stat line is 3 tackles for 2 sacks. I told him that we got to work on making it 3 for 3.
The tackles don't count as 3 the sacks don't count as tackles.
Okay.
That's a separate category. So you had 3 tackles and then 2 sacks on top of that. Yeah. Ben, loved the way that he played. I like his energy. I mean, he came and him and Keegan hit the quarterback, and I mean, they get up and they weren't celebrating each other. They weren't celebrating individually. They were celebrating each other. They high-fived each other, big grin on each other, and just that type of excitement and bringing the team together is what we want out of him. He kind of has a chip on his shoulder. He didn't play a ton of defense as a junior. He played a lot as a sophomore. He has a bad shoulder that we're always concerned about. It's braced up, and we had some other guys that could play. We wanted to kind of keep him for center. This year there's more of an opportunity for him to play, and he's motivated. It's like I should have played last year. I'm going to prove that they made a mistake. So he came out with a kind of a chip on his shoulder, and him and Owen are just so athletic on the end. I mean, they move their feet so well. Ben's not overly big, but he's really, really quick, and he's strong. His energy coming out the ball, his speed coming out the ball gave them a lot of problems. So yeah, I mean, he played well. We need that from him. He got a little greedy. His job was to go down the line, and they had like a 3rd down, and he came upfield. He, beat the guy. He was thinking he was getting a sack, and he handed the ball off. So we had to get on him a little bit about, do your job. You got to do your job every play. You can't get greedy. You can't assume they're going to pass. But yeah, he works hard. He's put a lot of time in. He's a 3-year starter for us at center. He's confident. He works well with his teammates and defense. I just think that him, and we got Adam Klatt, Owen, they work really well together. We got Kane Folby, Charlie Pearson, Brody Patch, Ezra, Manuel. We got, Zach O'Connor. We got a lot of D linemen, and they just fit in a really nice rotation. And he's a senior. He's a captain. He needs to be a leader, and I thought he did a good job of that on Friday night.
One of your other seniors that's been out there for a while, I think, did he score every time he touched the ball?
Well, he had the one offensive penalty, and so that took. But
right. he did have the offensive pass interference. But
yeah, 2 catches, 2 touchdowns. There's 1 punt return he didn't score on.
Okay,
I think he fair caught it maybe, or something, or got tackled.
Like yeah, he did get tackled. Yeah. I don't think Gabe was going to fair catch anything after scoring a pair of punt return touchdowns. I don't think he was going to fair catch, but. 2 catches for 32 yards and a pair of touchdowns, 2 punt return touchdowns, including that first one right after the Little Falls got the ball to start with and punted from deep in their own end, and he took it 40 yards back to the house. So talk about what Gabe is bringing for you as a senior as well.
Yeah, to be honest with you, what we saw out of Gabe is what we expected out of Gabe. He's a senior now. Gabe played for us as a sophomore. Saw him, he played, last year as a junior for us. He's an explosive player. I mean, he's a freak. He has long legs. He has long arms. Just a tough cover. He's fast. He's agile. So what we saw, we expect out of him. We expect him to make plays. Now that I expect him to have 2 punt returns for a touchdown and 2 receiving touchdowns all in the same game, probably not. But with what we were seeing for coverage, Gabe should win that, and he won that. What I liked about Gabe, I thought he was really locked in. He was locked in. He was really smart. I mean, he set up his blocks well. And Gabe would be the first one to tell you that the punt return team was phenomenal. It wasn't just him. That was 11, men out there doing their job. And he did his job. He set the blocks up. Now, the second one, you see what makes him elite. I mean, most guys just run down the sideline. They're fine. He sees the opening. He cuts all the way across the field. He has the speed to get it across the field. Ben Rubin got a really nice block at the end. But those are things that he sees that most kids aren't going to see. So we expect a huge year out of him. He's fast, he's athletic, he's strong, he's confident. You can just see the confidence in him right now. I mean, he looks different than other players on the field, just with his size and his ability to run. So yeah, just really happy for Gabe. And said, what have you done for us lately? We expect this all the time from him in making plays for us. That's what great players do. He's a great player for us. So hopefully we see a lot more of this as the season goes along.
When I had a chance to sit down with both Ben and Gabe, both of them, we were talking about them. We were talking about the season and goals. Gabe says the goal is to win a state championship, but it wasn't just talking about the goals. It was how they talked about their teammates. They talked about playing with their brothers. Both of them both use that word, that they're playing with their brothers. And I know back in the day they both had actual blood brothers on the team.
That's right.
But they both since graduated, and it's that feeling. Talk about how does this team feel as a coach? Do you get a sense when a team is more close some years than maybe it is another year?
100%. Yeah, 100% with that. And you can't be successful without that connectiveness. If it's about me, if it's me, your team's never going to be very good because nobody does it by themselves. And when everybody on the team feels appreciated, everybody chips in, and that's when you're good. That's when you have good teams. And yeah, these guys are close with each other. They do a lot of stuff off the field together. And our parents and community do a great job too. I mean, we have these team dinners. We had pizza at my house beforehand, and every senior rotates it through, they do groups on before home games. So the kids are together before games, which is great. Thursday night we had our team dinner, which is great. And that just keeps everybody together. There's a lot of outside distractions. You don't want the kids running different things. But yeah, when you're successful, it's because your team is connected. They have to be connected. They have to appreciate each other. If it's all about me and we're all running around doing all separate things and we're not together, that's how you play. You don't play as a unit. So you see what happens when you play as a unit, like our punt team, man, it's flawless and people take pride in it. So yeah, I mean, this team, it's still early to tell, but I think they're connected. I think they care about each other. I think they want to win. I think they want to be successful. You have to celebrate everybody's successes, and I think they do that. That's probably, to me, like I watch the sidelines. When I watch a film, one time watching it through, I just watch our sidelines. I want to see how our players react. Do they celebrate? When Rylan Horse, sophomore, catches the touchdown, our juniors and seniors happy for him and congratulating him. I don't want to see guys who don't congratulate their teammates. It's like, be a part of it, be happy for somebody else. And, our team's like that. And hopefully it continues like that because typically you have a good season when that happens.
Absolutely. One game down, 7 more to go. Next up is
a lot more than 7 to go, Jeremy.
Well, 7 more regular season games.
We only go 7 more, Jeremy. I'm probably going to get fired.
Well, I have a feeling. Well, no, we're going to have at least 8 because you're guaranteed at least one playoff game. But if we already talked about.
But I have more nature.
If we have a round 1 loss to Pine City, Tom Westman, rest his soul, will be rolling in his grave, and
Tom Westman would have a big mark on that game if that happens.
Yes, indeed. So
he'll still write an article. I don't know how, but he will. Yeah.
Years down the road, you get to heaven, and he'll
believe. Well, I don't know if I'll go to heaven, but I'll see him somewhere.
Our next game, week 2, we've got Glencoe-Silver Lake. Heading to Glencoe-Silver Lake, I was talking with the boys that I think our field is among the best in the state. Glencoe-Silver Lakes might be number 2. They've got a beautiful facility down there, great complex down there. Always a tough place to play. Glencoe-Silver Lake did end up losing in week 1, but they lost maybe a closer game to the Foley Falcons than maybe some people were expecting. What do we know about the Panthers heading into their place week 2?
Yeah, you're right about their field. Their grounds crew does a phenomenal job. That's a really fun place to play. You walk up, they get all their state championships and state tournament things on the fence, and there's a Panther statue. And we used to tell our kids that was a traveling trophy, and they wanted it so much they just made it a statue. Because for 15 years we didn't beat them. It was like, so now the last few years I have no problem going down there and winning because we took some bad beatings. They were phenomenal. Great tradition, great program. Obviously, they've hit some hard times recently, but they're on their way back up again. Defensively, they're good. They're fast. They're really fast. Their kids get off the ball. They're well coached. You watch them on film. Just their technique. They're coached up. You can see the kids are coached up, how they're doing things. And the kids play hard. That's how they stay in the game with Foley. I thought they were more physical than Foley. They were faster than Foley, and they used their speed. I think they'll try to do that with us. They're going to try to use their speed on defense. They return a lot of guys on defense. They're not overly big. Their linebackers aren't overly big, but they're sideline to sideline players, and they hit. I mean, kind of like the old school Glencoe kids. They just don't have a lot of players. We have more depth, obviously. I think a lot of that comes out in special teams. I think we're a lot stronger on special teams than they are. They play a sophomore quarterback. The kid's a really good athlete, but probably not completely ready for varsity yet. As a sophomore, I mean, it's a growing pains and learning. Their offensive line isn't overly big. They run the football. They've thrown it more this year. Understand a lot of play action passes. So, you got to protect the ball. Again, early in the season, still early in the season, you see a lot more turnovers than you do later in the year. So I think that's probably the biggest factor is protect the ball. And we have to play. I mean, we have to, the kids, well, they lost. We won big. They lost, we're going to win by 50. It's like you can't have that attitude. You won't play. You got to be focused, play one series at a time. And it should be a good game. I think it's be a competitive game. I don't think anybody runs away with the game. They control the clock a lot with the way they run the ball. So, except they're well coached. They're good. It's on the road. I expect a good game. I mean, I think we're a better team than they are on paper, but you don't play the game on paper. You got to play it on the field. So it should be fun and be a good challenge for us.
So if there's one team around that I don't want to take for granted, it's Glencoe, because
No.
I remember too many of those. I remember going in that lightning delay years ago when we had a nice big lead, and it felt like we were finally going to get one done in Glencoe, and then they came back from that.
Well, actually, lightning delay, we scored to go up by 1 point.
Was that what it was?
Quarter. Yeah.
Okay.
And then there was a 2-hour lightning delay, and we stayed in the shed, and they came out and just incredible. But I think they scored 4 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. But yeah, I mean, it's never easy. We've been up by 2 or 3 touchdowns before and we lost. I mean, they're kids. One thing about Glencoe kids, what I respect about them, it doesn't matter the score. They always play. I mean, I thought Little Falls kind of quit playing a little bit. And I mean, they had some injuries, so that's tough to do. But the Glencoe kids will never quit playing. They're athletes. They're competitive. They play multiple sports. So yeah, you always are going to get their best effort.
Hopefully we get our best effort as well, and we end up 2-0, and we can sit down and talk again next week. So, Coach, good luck against Glencoe. Thanks for joining me.
Yeah, thanks, Jer.